Good morning. Welcome to the Naples MacFriends user group meeting, Wednesday, October the 27th.
And George, I hope I can live up to everything you just said. And I have been quiet this morning because I seem to be having a host of computer issues this morning, which I never have. So this is what I call trial by fire. When it's your turn, all kinds of things happen. So what I'm going to do is cover who our class instructors are and just give you a little bit of information about the classes. And if you have any questions, please either raise your hand or put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, we do ask that you mute your microphone so there won't be any disturbance going on. And with that, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I
Yep.
appreciate that. Yes, you
Got
can
it.
talk to me. It's okay. You can talk to me. I won't bite. Just a little bit. All right. So what we do at Naples at the beginning of every year, we have classes on Apple products. And the reason we do that is because we want to keep our membership informed on what's going on with the products and how to use them. And it's turned out to be a pretty successful endeavor in that our membership knows that we are really invested in helping them learn and know the products that we use and that we discuss and that we get presenters to speak on. So with that, I'm going to go over some of the, or all of the classes and uh, instructors that we have. Our first instructor, you all, or maybe most of you may be familiar with, his name is Dan Wazink. And Dan is the owner and developer of Dan Tutorials. And he also, it was also known as Noteboom before he changed it to Dan's Tutorials. And Dan is the owner, trainer, and most everything, like all of us who are self-employed, to Dan's Tutorials. And he's personally been working on a Mac for over 30 years. And Dan will cover Zoom, and he will also cover FaceTime. With Zoom and being connected via Zoom for the last year and a half, as we have been during the pandemic, it has become indispensable to us. So Dan will cover the use of Zoom, best practices, new features, and he will also cover the new feature of FaceTime, which allows us to send a link to someone who does not have an Apple product and still interact with them. So Apple has decided to join that fray and not be left out. And it will be a very interesting and very informative meeting. With all of our classes, you will receive a handout prior so that you will know what the instructor will cover. Do I have any questions about this class? The date of Dan's presentation, Dan is our first presenter and it will be January the 8th. And you will, when you have received the information about the classes, all of the dates should be there, and they are also listed on the Naples website. So you can go there and see the instructors and see all of the class dates and get a brief description. How long did the classes take? Peter, the classes are 2.5 hours, and there is a 15-minute break in the center of the class so that everyone can get up, get some coffee, get something to eat, take a needed personal break, and then we resume the class. Does one pay in advance for 10 classes or one at a time? If you pay in advance and pay for 10 classes, you will get one of those classes for free. So you will actually pay for 9. So pay for all of them. The class fee is minimal. Our class fee is $20 this year for each class. So if we miss a class, can we get the video afterward? Absolutely. And these videos will only be available for those who take the class. So wonderful. Let me continue on, keep on with your questions, and I'll answer them as soon as I see them. Our next instructor will be Jeff Bohr. And Jeff runs Naples Mac Health in Naples, Florida. Jeff is a Apple certified professional, and he's been using the Mac platform since 1986. Jeff will give you a thorough and very comprehensive overview of Mac OS Monterey and tips and tricks that you can use to work this system. This is a exceptionally informative class, just like all of them are. But with Monterey just being released, there are going to be tons of features that you're going to want to know about. And this is definitely a class you would not want to miss. All right. And then you have someone that you've already heard a whole bunch about earlier today, so I'll dispense with that. I am a software technology trainer, and I've been doing this for over 30 years. And I have come to understand that Apple Pages is a uniquely misunderstood program. And, oops, sorry. And what I would like to do is demystify Apple Pages for you. I did a presentation of Apple Pages to our sister group in Australia, and they realized, or the president actually said, she has been using this program all wrong, all incorrectly. So what I want to do is show you how you can use Pages, not just as a text creation, plain text creation program, but as something that can be very useful for you. Okay, Lawrence, unless I select the registering. All right, Lawrence, Eckart will follow up with you for that question. So I want to introduce you to Pages, how you can use it, how you can make it simple for you to learn, but really demystify this program so that you can use it to its fullest ability and your ability. Okay, our next class will be Christian Boyce. And Christian is a hoot. He's very funny. He's very, very, very friendly. He's got jokes all day long. Christian will help you learn how to use the iPhone and iOS 15. Some of you have seen the presentation that Christian did on Safari and how much you learned from that presentation. He is just as informative on the Mac, on the iPhone and in iOS 13. iOS 15, sorry. So if you have any questions about new features, settings, all things Apple is what Christian purports himself to be. If you want to know the answer, Christian can give you that answer. President Monterey does weird and crazy things. Keynote that. All right, thank you, Peter. I appreciate your comment in the chat. Our next class will be by Josh Centers. And Josh is the managing editor of Tidbits. And Tidbits is what you would, is a website and where you would find detailed coverage of Apple products and everything Apple for like the last 31 years. He also writes books via Take Control on iOS devices. And and Josh has a book on iOS 15 and iPad iOS 15. And you will receive these Take Control books when you sign up for this class. So it's something that we are doing for you. You sign up for the class, we will give you the Take Control book to follow along with Josh and his outline. So we really look forward to finding out more about iPad OS 15 and learning the features there. Our next class, I'm back, and I am going to cover Apple Watch features, fitness, and accessibility. And health has really become our #1 priority, no matter what the age, but health is really a priority now for us. And Apple has basically made health the core of its offerings with the iPhone and with the Apple Watch. I will cover the features of Apple Watch that relate to your health, relate to fall detection, relate to fitness. And what I've also noticed is that some of the accessibility features that are available and that are not already turned on in the Apple Watch or on iPhone are really useful, whether or not you are, quote, in the accessibility category. So this is what I will cover. Okay. Any questions so far? Any more questions on anything, any of our classes? Please put them in the chat. And then following will be Joe Kissel. And Joe Kissel is just a prolific author. He has written over 60 books on technology, and he is a frequent Macworld contributor. He is the publisher of the Take Control books. Joe will cover iCloud Plus, iCloud Drive, and he will take the mystery out of what these services do for you. Okay, dates. For Joe Kissel, the date is February 19th, 2022. And again, you can go to the App Naples site and see the class list and the dates for the classes. And when you sign up, the dates are also posted on the classes. So again, Joe's class is February 19th, 2022. And Joe is going to cover iCloud Plus, iCloud Drive, and demystify that whole process for you. Okay. Our next class will be entertainment and streaming. It is taught by James Corsica. And I have to read this. This is, to me, very amazing. James Corsica is an educator of Apple TV, Apple Media products, and he is a retired college prep math teacher and a not retired actor. And he watches way too much TV, according to this bio. And Jim taught advanced high school math for 45 years. That is amazing, Jim. And he successfully presented a proposal to the Prairie School Board of Directors to purchase an Apple II machine. Wow, thank you. I appreciate you getting that in the school. And Jim has had over the four generations of Apple TV and uses it for streaming and for his iTunes library of almost 14,000 songs. Jim's presentation is amazing if you want to learn about entertainment and streaming. And you will get just a multitude of information that will be helpful in learning about streaming and maybe what streaming devices and programs and apps would be good for you. Okay, thank you, Debbie. Appreciate it. And Dan Wozink comes back and he is going to give a class on Apple Photos. And Apple Photos is the image and media app that Apple uses for you to edit images and video. And Dan will give you a comprehensive review and use of this great program from beginner to advanced features. He will also go over how you can share your albums and work with your photos, editing, and just all kinds of features that you probably didn't know was in Photos. So, and I believe we have one more class, and that class is Security and Protection. This is an amazing class. Jeff will give you information on how to basically secure and protect your Apple device from harm. He goes through some of the apps in depth on what you can do, the things you can learn to help protect yourself. He will show you some of the scams that you will see coming at you so that you can detect what to look for. And basically, he will show you email safety, how to avoid hacks, and safe online practices. So this is an amazing class to attend, and you will learn just a plethora of information to help you. Okay, which would include iMovie in the photos class. Frank, iMovies will not be included in the photos class. Okay. And I believe that is our last class that we will have. Are there any more questions about?
Chita, it's Mitch. Hello.
Chita, you lost your volume.
You lost your
You lost
volume.
your
Chita.
sound.
All right, I am going to stop share. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. That's one of the problems I've been having all morning. All right, go ahead, Mitch.
On your pages presentation for the class, are you going to go over how to use it on an iPad as well, or is it just going to be restricted to the Mac?
It's going to be restricted to the Mac.
Disappointing.
I'm sorry. You have the reason for that class, the reason I don't cover it on the iPad is that you have so many more features available on the Mac. And I would rather give you the full breadth of the features that you have instead of them being watered down like they are on the iPad.
I understand that.
Okay. All right. Bob has a question. If I miss a class for access on demand, how long will we have access to the class? I believe that's indefinitely, Bob?
Yeah, you'll have the link, you'll have the video link, and it will work indefinitely.
Okay. Jim Corsica, you have a question. Go ahead.
Hi, thanks, Chita. I just wanted to say that for the media and entertainment class, I've decided just recently that I'm going to move podcasts more to the front of the class. It seems like in the past couple of years when I've conducted the class, podcasts have always wound up getting short shrift. And
Okay.
the growth in podcasts has just been explosive over the past year and a half by tenfold. And so I've decided to move them up closer to the top of the presentation. So I'm not sure what I'm going to say about it yet, but maybe I'll have a top 10 list of some sort. Thanks a lot.
You have a little bit of time. You have a little bit of time to figure that out.
Yeah.
Mike's question, what days? These classes are on Saturday. All classes are on Saturday. Saturday morning. All right. Any more classes? No, I'm sorry, any more questions?
I thought I saw a question from Frank about a PDF or something. Somebody asked a question.
Did anyone ask a question about a PDF?
The information they get prior to the class.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay, see. Please explain the PDF. Oh, Michael, please explain the PDF you get with the classes. Is it illustrated like a book and have a table of contents? What it is a handout from the instructors of the class. So I doubt if it will have a table of contents, but it will follow the instructors through their class. So it'll go from the beginning to the end, and because it will be a handout of their, not necessarily their notes, but of their topics and what they will cover. So it will be illustrated. It'll be a PDF. Okay, we have a new. Okay, Jill, we do have, in the meantime, we will have presentations on security. So, but really this is an awesome class. The security class is an awesome class to attend, to deal with things like that. Jill, press delete on emails like that. Just press delete. Classes on Saturday at the same time. Yes, the classes are on Saturdays at the same time. The classes will be 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time to 12:30
30.
p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. All right, if you could mute your microphone unless you have a question for me, and please, if you could raise your hand, I appreciate it. Great, Jill, glad you did. Tips, any other tips to share any of the classes regarding AirPods Pro? Jean, no, there won't. I doubt if there will be any tips on the AirPods Pro. That's a very cute question, Jean. I'm glad you're enjoying them.
Thank you.
Al, I am not wearing the AirPods 3. This is the AirPods Pro, and they are awesome. They are really awesome. Jean can attest to that. If you don't have a pair of the AirPods Pro, you're missing out. You really are.
I can attest to it. Thank you, Chita.
You're welcome, Jean. Eastern Standard Time in January, March. That will be, yes, Eastern Standard Time, Roger. We go off of, when do we go off of daylight saving time? The end of October or November beginning?
Sometime in the next few weeks.
Okay. All right. Hold on. These questions are flying by me now.
Monday in November, November 7th.
Thank you, Don. Good morning. Are the Wednesday? Yes, the Wednesday classes are continuing. Wednesday presentations are continuing. They are completely separate from the classes. So we're going to be very busy here in Naples. And Debbie, that's why we have the video. I know for you it would be early, but that's why we have videos available to all of those who attend the classes. Okay, great. Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate your comment. Next week, full agree with AirPods Pro. Okay, my AirPods Pro fall out. If your AirPods Pro fall out of your ears, do you have the right tip? And do you have them in your ear properly? There are 3 tips that come with the AirPods Pro, and you have to have the right tip, otherwise they will fall out. Mine don't fall out of my ear. Okay, and with that, if there are no more questions about the classes, I would like to hand it over to Eckart. All right, with that, we are going to hand it over to Eckart, because Eckart is going to explain how you can sign up for the classes.
I am very happy to not only be the host of our regular Wednesday meetings, but once in a while I like to make a few contributions myself. And this, I think, for this particular cause, I love to do that. I've been a long member of this organization, and our class program has been overwhelming. We have a few things that really make our organization the organization we are. I think one is our weekly program, such as this today, and one of the other things is the class program. It's exceptional, it's outstanding, and we have, in the meantime, because of Zoom, been able to expand on our participation. We have now meetings. Last year we had over 100 members in attendance. And now that we have really expanded our membership overall, that we have in more than 600 active members, I do not even know yet how many members will sign up for these classes. But I tell you, even if it's 120 or 150, we will be able to accommodate all of you very well, because the Zoom system accepts that many participants, that the quality doesn't suffer. Not the quality of the video or the audio, all that remains the same. The moderation, our moderator will remain the same. So I'm looking forward to an exceptional, outstanding program the first 3 months in the new year 2022. Now, how do you sign up for these classes? Only members of Naples MUG can sign up for classes, and everyone will receive announcements, frequent announcements about the classes, and also about how to register for classes. I will demonstrate to you now how this is best be done. Not using a click on the link on the announcements, but just go the regular way and go to our website. Let me use share screen, and I take you to our website. In order to sign up for our classes, we need to click on classes, go to the tab classes, and then as we slide down, we go to register. Now you have to add your name if you want to sign up for a class. I'm going to enter my name and click enter. Now I find two names, my wife Anya and myself. I click on that green spot there, and now I'm taken to the registration form. On the left-hand side you see my name, my email address. I will pay for my classes myself, so I will not enter anything here. However, if, for example, if I wanted to register for my class and I don't want her to pay for it herself, then I would have taken Anya Goette and I would have added my first and last name and my email so that the invoice would actually come to me. But here I just click, if I would register for myself, I click on this box, attendee is payer. Now I go to the right-hand side and I can check for the classes. I can take a look at the class descriptions again that Chita has just taken us through, and just to verify what these classes really represent. And then I can go ahead and click on the classes I want to participate, I want to register for. And I'm going through all of them because I want to demonstrate to you what happens. How do you get your free class? If I sign up for all 10 classes, which I've done now, it says 10 classes registered, total fees 200, and here's the discount and of 20 bucks. So I'm really only paying $180. And if I would click here now, and I'm not going to do that, if I would click here now, then our system would get PayPal to send me an invoice in the amount of $180. And I don't have, as you may know, because you'll get PayPal invoices for your membership renewals, you don't have to pay your PayPal, you don't have to have a PayPal account to pay for these invoices. You can use any credit card. But this is basically the way how you register for classes. And now let me go back. And because let's say you are an early adapter and you decide on November 1st you want to sign up for, maybe not for all classes, but maybe for 6 or 7. So in January, you ask yourself the question, how many classes did I actually sign up for? And you can always send me a message and I will try to answer that question as quickly as possible. What will happen when you pay the invoice? I'm back here. I go out of the share screen. When you pay your invoice, you will get a message from Naples confirming the payment, and that confirmation will also indicate the classes you have registered for. So you will receive that right after paying for the classes. Then our system will, about a week before each class, send you a personal reminder that you have signed up for a class a week out, and to remind you of that registration. About 2 or 3 days before the class, you will receive another message, and it will contain the handout that Chita had been talking about, giving all kinds of information on the particular class. But that message will contain 2 other very important things. It will include the Zoom ID and the passcode. And you should know that for our weekly meetings, these are recurring meetings, and the same Zoom ID and same passcode will be used for the entire season from September 21 through June of 22. For our class program, it is different. For each class, we have a special Zoom ID which we will communicate to each class registrant a couple of days or 3 days before the meeting. The passcode will stay the same for the entire class program. It will be NMUG. But the Zoom ID will be different, and you have to watch out for that particular information just a few days before each class. As far as joining the meeting is concerned, the meetings start at 10 o'clock, and we suggest that you actually start joining at maybe 15 minutes in advance of the actual class. Our system will take you to a waiting room after you have on your computer decided to join the meeting, entered the Zoom ID and the passcode. You will be in a waiting room, and there will be a couple of people, Mary and myself, who are in charge of the waiting room. We want to make sure that everyone who's in the waiting room actually is a registrant, did sign up for the class and paid for it, and then we will admit you. It's a little bit time consuming, but we can do that fairly quickly. However, what is very important is that you please sign in with use your first and last name. I've made that comment today early when we started the meeting. I'm repeating it now. We don't want to make life complicated for you. We understand you use Zoom for many other reasons, and for social reasons, your first name is wonderful and just sufficient. However, when we organize a class and we have more than 100 participants, we must really avoid any interference from the outside. For security reasons, we really need to know who you are when you try to join the meeting, and a fancy name will just not do it. Zoom introduced a feature as of today, I'd already mentioned that would allow us to chat with people in the waiting room. So when we see someone there with just a first name or an insufficient identification, we will be able to contact that person. But overall, we would really appreciate it in the interest of our organization and of a great conduct of these meetings that no interference, that you use your first and last names. Let me just go on. We covered, I think, the fact that there will be a recording, and also what will be available is live caption. So we will have closed caption available, and for those who have problems with hearing, they have the advantage of being able to read what is actually articulated on the screen. Also, we mentioned that we will have great interaction. We will use the chat function a lot, and the chat file that represents all the questions and comments will also be made available to each registrant after the meeting. So you can read again the questions that were asked and the comments that were made and the answers that were given. One other situation that may occur, you may decide to join as many meetings as possible, and then all of a sudden you find out you will not be able to participate in a particular meeting. Well, we do have the possibility to cancel, but a cancellation has to be made at least 7 days before that particular class that you want to cancel. And we don't have an automated system that would allow you to just send in your cancellation. The money would be refunded. We would like to ask you to send that cancellation to me, and I will make sure that you get your refund as quickly as possible. I think that's all I have to say at this time. And Chita, as moderator, have there been many questions put in the chat room that need a response or clarification.
No, some were saying that you were very clear. Greg did have a concern about the personal information that you showed for Lawrence, and we assured him that this will be cut out of the video, but we needed to show this for purposes of being on clarifying and being correct for you.
I may say, I mean, clearly we want to protect everyone, but also, you know, we enjoy really Mike Lawrence being so premature. I mean, he really checked the system before we had a chance to check it ourselves. So we are very happy. We are very grateful that he did that, and just wanted to make that additional comment.
Okay, Jane Wood, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, I thank you for all this great info on these classes. So I was wondering if I could, if I suddenly wanted to do a class and it was the day before the class started, could I register at that late date?
Yes, the answer is yes. In fact, in the past, I've had people in the morning of the class, 50 minutes before that they wanted to sign up for the class. And I told them, you really have to rush, and because you need the Zoom ID and the passcode to join. But I tell you, we have scrambled, but we had a 100% success rate in the past with these very late endeavors. We really enjoy these classes. We are so happy that we have them, and we go out of our way to accommodate all of our members, even if they make a very late decision. We will help them.
Well, thank you. That's great.
All right. Roger Parrish, you had sort of a question, comment, issue. Can you unmute yourself and comment?
I registered for your class online shortly after you gave the description of it. And then following Eckart's presentation showing how you can display your membership record, I checked mine, and at the bottom there's a square for class registrations, and there's nothing in there. So am I registered or am I not registered?
Yeah, I'll tell you this, we have an outstanding database, and our member and board member Ed Evans is really the guru behind this great FileMaker Pro database that we have. It's almost fully automated, but not quite. So when you do register, and there's a manual, we have to actually go to the database, find that invoice or recognize that invoice, and then click on it, and then it will show that it's paid. And when it's paid, then that will start the recording process of the registered classes in the system. So if you let me see, maybe I can help you while maybe somebody's asking another question. Let me go into FileMaker Pro and see whether I can actually
while you do that, Baxter Thomason, you have a question.
Yes, I know I'm going to miss some of the classes because I'll be traveling. When would the video be available after the class? How soon?
Within 2 days.
Okay, thank you very much.
Within 2 days.
You're welcome, Baxter. Greg, how about making the class into videos and now available for this price at another day? Greg, I would really say the answer to that question is no. But well, you know what? Never say no. Like you never say never. You never say no. Greg, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, you used to make the slides available for all the classes on the old website, and they were helpful. For those that don't really want to pay that amount of money, but have some level of interest in the class, it might be helpful to make that available cheaper later on. I mean, they won't be able to ask direct questions during the class, but they will gain something. I mean, you have a resource there that's worth something that you're not going to get any value out of. So I suggest you offer it at some later date at a lower price.
I think that's an interesting question, and I don't think we have an immediate answer for that. But this is not the first time that we've been talking about this. And one thing is, me personally, I hardly ever look back. I think technology is moving so fast, and there are so many improvements so quickly around the corner that I hardly ever have an interest in looking back what happened 2 or 3 months ago. So that's, I think, the reason why for historians it may be interesting to determine in 2025 what the state of the art was on pages in the spring of 2022. But just a few months later, so many things change that it is very difficult to determine a value for the intellectual property that is part of these class presentations. That's my very quick answer, but it's a good question though.
I suggest you try it and see what happens.
Yeah, I think we can certainly entertain looking at it if it's a simple process and it doesn't require tons of effort by and hours and so forth. We could entertain it.
Okay.
Some of these things sound easy, but they take hours and hours and hours to get structured. But we'll certainly look at it, and we appreciate your ideas.
Thank you.
In connection with that,
Go ahead.
if everybody uses Keynote, Keynote has a printing method where they create PDF slides along with lines you can take notes in as part of the program itself. So you can easily create a PDF file of a presentation with the slides, all the slides there. There's like 3 in a page in the PDF files. As I use that for students to have a place for my line to take notes for what I do. And that may be one method you can experiment with to see if it lasts beyond Eckart's 2-year rule, which is very, very right on the money, I think.
Absolutely. Things change so quickly.
Yeah.
Debbie Clark, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Just one Chita, one thing. I processed those registrations that were made 10 minutes ago, and that should all be visible now on the website. I just wanted to make that comment. Thank you.
Debbie Clark, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Sure. I was saying I wasn't quite sure why there's a November the 1st registration date when it seems like the registration is open right now. And so if we've signed up for classes as of now, I mean, they still count, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were.
Okay, I was just confused about why you can't sign up till November, but you can.
Well, there's a lot of things that went into preparing everything to make sure it works. So we had a date that was picked out of November the 1st, and we are ready about almost 4 or 5 days ahead of time, and sometimes it's right down to the 2nd, and sometimes it doesn't really happen on time. But our go date was November the 1st, but it's actually at this point in time it's ready, and you can go ahead and register.
Right. We wanted to make sure that we were prepared, and some of the members decided to go ahead and click the link anyway. So As you see, we are prepared.
Are the descriptions up to date yet? That was one thing I think that still needed.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Lawrence, while you're looking at that, Lawrence, in response to your question, most classes appear to be software related, but in reality, most software is also dependent on the hardware being used to fully appreciate the features and utility of our computing systems. Will this be considered in the class? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I hope that answers your question because, you know, for myself, when I talk about the Apple Watch, it will be with, you know, the latest Apple Watch. It will be with the latest iPhone. There are some features that are not available if you have an older phone. So definitely what we discuss in our classes will be related to the particular hardware that's out at the time. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Clay. All right, any other questions about our classes or about sign up? It's awfully quiet out there. Any dad jokes?
I think, George, you still with us, or you have to leave, George, right? Or
I think George is gone.
yeah.
Yeah, George had to leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe we're coming to the end of the meeting then. Chita?
Well, wait a minute. We have some more questions coming in.
Okay, good.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Glad we were helpful. Thank you, Pia. Okay, Peter. Bob Jacobs, your question, have you ever considered doing a program on FileMaker Pro? No. What we tried to do, we want to focus on Apple products. Being an Apple user group, we want to focus on the Apple programs. FileMaker Pro is a whole different animal. And what we try to do, we try to gauge what our members are interested in and what the majority of our members are interested in. And FileMaker Pro is a great program, and it's an expensive program. And it is a really in-depth program. So that is not a program that we at this time would consider having a class on. James, you're the only dad joke you know. Okay, great.
Yeah, I think on the membership, let me just make a general comment. We have added more than 200 new members recently, and they all had under the campaign program the first 2 months free membership. So those were the months of October, really 3, September, October, November. They would receive an invoice in early November, and if they pay the invoice, then the renewed membership will take them through December 1st, 2022. And if they do not pay the invoice, their membership will end on November 30th, 2021. And so and I think it was, we tried to explain all of that in the welcome letter, but maybe it was a little bit confusing. So when people, and some of these new members are asking themselves and are asking us, when do I pay? So I'm telling all of you, next week the invoice will go out. We will send it out on November 2nd, and you then have the opportunity to pay. And for all other members who'd like to know when is my expiration date, you just follow the same process that I just demonstrated to see whether you had registered for classes. You can go to the website or membership update, and then you find out when you click on your name and retrieve your record, you find your expiration date. Somewhere it's grayed out, so you cannot change it. But that's the way for you to find out personally when your expiration date is. And other than that, you can just send me a personal note and I will respond as quickly as possible.
Okay, Pia.
May I make one more addition to the to 10 classes? Sign up for 10 classes and get one free. You really don't have to sign up for all 10 classes right now at once. If you sign up for 5 now and then the 6th one, and as we go on, you decide to join all of them, the final class will be for free. So it's not that you have to do it all at once. If you do it in a slow mode, if you register one class after the other, if you do sign up for 10 classes, eventually one will be free. Just wanted to make that clarifying comment.
Okay, Eckart, you need to get with Pia Oliver, and you need to get with Debbie Clark. Debbie Clark and Pia Oliver, I want you to contact Eckart, or Eckart will contact you.
Yeah, they can contact me. Just look at that question. You can sign up for them and pay for them, but because I'm not paid for membership, you are a member. She is a member. You have not paid for it because the first 2 months were free, but you have a member in full standing with all benefits, all entitlements, so there's no differentiation.
Okay, Peter D, you sent a screenshot to me. I have not downloaded it. I will download it. What is that screenshot on? About Peter D? Peter D?
You wanted some dad jokes.
Oh, I wanted some dad. Wait a minute.
I sent you 2 of them.
Sure, we have a class on dad jokes.
Wait. Peter, you have to say this out loud. Go ahead. This is cute. Go ahead, Peter.
All right. 3 weeks ago, I sent my hearing aids in for repair. I've heard nothing since.
All right. One more, Peter. Give me the other one.
I'll give you the other one. I've started telling people about the benefits of dried grapes. It's all about raising awareness.
That's cute. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I think Don Peacock has a question. He has raised his hand.
Don, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have a question, but you've sort of covered it. The people who joined and have not yet paid, but are getting the benefit of the couple months free membership, you need to pay when you get an invoice, you need to pay your invoice. So if the class time comes and you have not renewed or paid your invoice, why you can't attend the class. You have to be a paid member to attend the class. So I think that was Pia's question. But don't worry about it. You'll get an invoice. If you join during this promotion, you will shortly get an invoice.
Okay, thank you, Don. Appreciate it. All right, are there any more questions about class and registration? Thank you. Bob Hill, thank you and happy Halloween. All right, we are not opposed to ending the meeting 5 minutes early if we have no more questions. Bento replacement. Now, we will not be covering bento. Again, we're really focusing on the core Apple products that Apple creates. So that's our main focus. All right, sometimes I don't sound more. Thank you, Peter. All right, if we have no more questions, we are going to go ahead and end our meeting a few minutes early. We thank you for attending today. We thank you for staying. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. We hope you attend our classes. In the meantime, we will see you next week where you will see me again, and I will be doing a Q&A. And I thank you. very much for joining us today.